Number 7, Lucifer was an angel alive. In Christian theology, yes, it was widely believed that Lucifer was originally a powerful, beautiful angel alive. The name Lucifer itself is a Latin translation that means light bearer or morning star. The name comes from the King James version of Isaiah 14:12, which describes the fall of the king of Babylon. How have you fallen from heaven, O morning star, son of the dawn? You have been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nations. Many theologians interpret this passage as symbolic taunts against the king of Babylon that also has a deeper dual reference to the pride and fall of Satan. The name Lucifer became strongly associated with Satan's pre-fall state of glory and splendor. The Apostle Paul also speaks of this in 2 Corinthians 11:14, which is my birthday. And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. This verse doesn't say that Satan is an angel of light, but rather that he disguises himself as one. This suggests a deceptive nature, that he uses an outward appearance of goodness, wisdom, or spiritual illumination to lure people away from God's truth. Did the fall of man represent a pursuit of wisdom and knowledge? The question gets to the heart of the fall of man, narrative in Genesis, and the nature of original sin. According to Genesis 3, the serpent, traditionally identified with Satan, tempted Eve by promising her that if she ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, she would be like God, knowing good and evil. Genesis 3:5. On the surface, it seems to be a pursuit of knowledge. However, mainstream Christian theology argues that the true sin was not the pursuit of knowledge itself, but rather disobedience and a desire for autonomy from God. The nature of the knowledge, the Hebrew word for know, yada, can imply intimate, experiential knowledge, not just intellectual understanding. By eating the fruit, Adam and Eve didn't just gain information about good and evil, they gained an experiential knowledge of evil. By performing an evil act, disobedience, before the fall, they knew only good. The desire to be like God, the serpent's promise was not just about knowing things, but about being on God's level, to be like God. This mirrors the sin of pride, traditionally attributed to Lucifer, who wanted to be like the Most High, Isaiah 14:14. Therefore, the fall of man is often seen as a repetition of Lucifer's fall, a rejection of one's place as a creature in favor of the arrogant desire to be the creator or sovereign. The role of knowledge. The knowledge itself was not inherently evil. God created the tree. The evil was in seeking the knowledge in a way God had forbidden. God's command was a test of faith and trust, and Adam and Eve failed that test by prioritizing their own desire over God's will. The Gnostic viewpoint. It's important to know that in Gnosticism, the biblical narrative is inverted. The serpent is seen not as a tempter, but as a liberating figure who brings gnosis, knowledge, to humanity. The God of the Old Testament, the Creator, or Demiurge, is often viewed as a malevolent or ignorant deity who wants to keep humanity ignorant and enslaved. The act of eating the fruit is a positive event, a moment of enlightenment where humanity gains the divine knowledge that the Creator God sought to withhold. This Gnostic perspective directly answers yes to your question. The fall was a pursuit of wisdom and knowledge, and this was a good thing because it was a rebellion against an oppressive, ignorant God. This view, however, stands in direct contrast to traditional Christian doctrine. According to Christian eschatology, a study of end times, Satan's eternal fate is clearly described in the book of Revelation. He will not rule over hell, but will be one of its first and most prominent occupants, receiving punishment. Here's a summary of where Satan will spend eternity and a description of place based on biblical accounts. The lake of fire. The Bible, particularly in the book of Revelation, makes a clear distinction between hell, Hades, which is seen as a temporary holding place for the dead, and the lake of fire, which is the final eternal destination for the devil, his angels, and all those whose names are not in the book of life. Final destination. Revelation 20:10 states, "And the devil who deceived them was thrown into the lake of burning sulfur, where the beast and the false prophet have been thrown. They will be tormented day and night forever and ever." Prepared for Satan and his angels. Jesus himself says in Matthew 25:41, "Then he will say to those on his left, 'Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire.'" Prepared for the devil and his angels. This passage indicates that the lake of fire was not originally created for humanity, but specifically for Satan and his rebellious angels. So we're not even supposed to go to hell. It was for the devil and his fallen angels, but I guess since we fell, we get to go too. Yay!